Well, looks like it's finally happening to me. This isn't really that surprising because if you're someone who uses the internet way too much, this has a chance to happen to all of us. I'm starting to think that the brain rot is finally starting to get to me. Now, when this happens to someone, it's not completely over. I know a lot of people on the internet like to act it is. Like the split second you start showing signs of brain rot, it's just over and you just need to completely give up. That's not true. Everyone can recover. The only people who really can't is if you get hit with that Twitter brain rot. I will still confidently say that I truly think the long-term damage that Twitter can do to someone is something that is completely unrecoverable. Especially if you go on the extremely weird side of Twitter, like the down bad side where they're only able to say terrible takes. It is absolutely done for you. You cannot be recovered at all. Okay, TikTok brain rot? Yeah, that's pretty bad, but when you really come and think about it, I actually don't think TikTok is that bad compared to like other social medias. Because if you think on the whole realm of short-term content, YouTube Shorts and especially Instagram Reels, I will confidently say that those two platforms are way more worse than just any of the garbage you can see on TikTok. The amount of absolutely terrible things I see over there, it's just crazy. That's the main reason why you see most YouTubers who usually talk about like brain rot, they stop going on TikTok and they go on those two platforms. Man, even every time when I want to talk about brain rot, it's probably on those two platforms because it is just that bad. But either way, we are getting completely off topic, but at the same time, me getting off topic is also on topic because this video is kind of just another example of me wanting to complain about something that's happening to me because that's kind of what slowly this channel is becoming. You know, we talk about three things around here: useless stuff that doesn't matter, useless internet drama, and me complaining. That's not even just true. I should probably cut that part out. I'm probably not going to do that either. But either way, there is a problem that I just recently am starting to deal with. And it's something that makes absolutely no sense. But before I get into that, I have to talk about something that I know happened to a lot of people, and that is something that I like to call rapid skill gaining and rapid skill losing. And it's kind of in its name. Have you ever been in a situation where one day you just have no idea how to do something, it's just impossible, no matter how hard you try, you can't do it, and then just suddenly out of nowhere the next day you just automatically know how to do it? Like you didn't do anything different, you didn't change, you just suddenly learn. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me give you an example from me. That was my relationship when I was trying to learn how to swim. For the longest time when I was younger, I just couldn't swim. It didn't matter no matter what I do, what brand new training technique we tried. I just could not swim at all. In the split second I go into water, I'll just drown immediately. Like I was in a video game that didn't have swimming programmed. It was just absolutely insane. It was terrible. And obviously I started to reach a point where I ended up getting so sad I just gave up and I just accepted myself. Well, it looks like I'm never going to learn how to swim. Until suddenly out of nowhere, like this was a couple of years in the future when I completely gave up, I thought to myself, I'm gonna try again. And when I did, I just automatically learned how to swim. Just like that, no training, literally me not doing anything for like months on end. I just went inside the water and suddenly out of nowhere I can swim, I can float, I can do everything. And it was something that was just so bizarre to me because it just made no sense. This one day I can't do this skill and then the next day I can't. And it just is what it is. And even still right now I can swim perfectly fine. I don't know what I did, but I just went into water suddenly out of nowhere. My brain was like, we know how to do this. Well, here's the thing. This thing can also happen, but it could be you losing skills. And that's currently happening to me with focusing. Now, for the longest time, I'm one person who can just extremely easily lock in. Like, when I want to do something or create something, or if I like have to get something done, I'm just really good at easily getting it done. You know, I sit down, I lock in, I finish, and then boom, I can move on and do whatever I have to do. That's just how I've been for basically my whole life. I never really get distracted, I don't have to deal with any of that. Until, suddenly out of nowhere, like, I'll say around like 1 month ago, I just ended up losing that skill. Now, I just can't do it anymore. alright? I'm getting distracted extremely easily, and it is just really, really annoying. I can't listen to music when I'm doing work. That's the thing I used to be able to do. Can't do it anymore because now I just get distracted, listen to the music. You know, I can't have my phone next to me because now every time when I get a notification, I have to like check it automatically. And then when I'm done checking the notification, I start scrolling on Twitter. Now, even when I'm like trying to do something on my PC, I'll just like open Steam or just open social media and just scroll around and not do anything. And this is something that is just extremely frustrated because I never had to deal with this problem before. I have absolutely no idea why this is like this big mental thing that I'm having to deal with. And I know why one reason it's getting worse. Every time when I get stuck in this cycle and I do this, I start coping. And I call this the delusional good kind of cope. Because there's two types of cope out there. You have an extremely bad one where you're just making up scenarios in your head that makes absolutely no sense. You're actually going inside of a Lalaloopsy delusional land. That was an extremely weird reference. Shout out to anyone who remembers Lalaloopsies. Those things are absolutely terrifying. I hate how they look. But you have that type of cope where you're just making up delusion. It makes no sense. And then you have the second type of cope, which I like to call kind of realistic cope. I need to come up with like better names. But this is a cope where, yeah, you still are making up a scenario to make something bad look extremely good, but there's like a little bit of truth in it, and you use that tiny bit of truth to justify it. For a good example, when I get distracted looking at social media, my cope is like, oh, this actually isn't that bad because I could find something that I can make a video talking about, which I have before. For example, the last time when we ended up talking about ASMR, I ended up finding those topics when I was like getting distracted. At the time, I was actually doing something important and I ended up getting distracted, looking on YouTube, and I found some extremely weird ASMR videos, and I was able to research that a little bit more and making it to a video like 2 weeks in the future. So that was one example of me getting distracted and it turned into something really good. But here's the thing, that is the only time that it happened. And I just used that one time that something positive happened as like a cope to continue this terrible habit that I'm growing. And I just absolutely hate it. Currently, I'm realizing that this is a problem, and I'm going to do the responsible thing and try to stop this until it gets worse. So now I'm like reaching the point where when I have to do something important, I'm not playing music anymore, and I'm also not checking my phone. But it's just extremely frustrated that now this is a problem that I have to deal with because I didn't have to deal with this back then. Like literally a couple of months later this year, I was perfectly able to lock in and get my work done, but now I suddenly can't, and it's frustrated. So frustrated that I decided to make a video complaining about it. Anyway, I just wanted to go and yap about this, mainly because I know I'm not the only person who has to deal with this. This is just a thing that a lot of people have to deal with, and now I'm just one of their new victims of brain rot. Anyway, that's it. This is just a thing that I wanted to yap about. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See ya.